Beer. Let's make some beer. First off, we gotta get 30 pounds of grains. Put it in here with 150-degree water. Today I'm brewing with a 3-keg system. At the top here I have my lauter tun, which is gonna boil water for my sparge. So I can sparge my grains and then they'll come out and go into my brew pot. Since I'm going to do a rest, I'll heat this to 150, let it rest for a while. After I add the grains, it'll reduce down to about 140, 138. I'll let it sit there for a while, and then I'll turn the burner back on, raise it up to 150. And I'm going to steep these grains for 1 hour. Periodically check your grain to make sure it's at 140, 150 degrees. If not, turn on the burner and raise your temperature to desired temperature. I'm going for 150, so I'm going to turn on my burner. About 15 minutes before the mash is done, go ahead and warm up your sparge water to 170 degrees so that it'll be ready for sparging. Alright, now the whole brewing process starts. We start sparging our grains. A little sprinkler system coming from our lauter tun with 170-degree water that we just lost our thermostat in there. Have to fish that out later. And the 170-degree water goes over the top of the grains here, and we adjust our inflow and our outflow equal so that we have about a ½ inch of water over the top of the grains so the grains don't compact in. As it comes out down here, fresh malt, or they actually call it wort, and that's sugar water, and that's going to be turned into beer with a little bit of yeast and some hops. So we'll fill this up and I'll start boiling this so that by the time this is all done sparging, this will be at boiling temperature and we won't lose any time at all. Now that I'm at my 10-gallon mark right here, I know I need about 12 gallons to start my boil. So I'm going to fill it up to about right here. So I've stopped my sparge and I'm going to let the remaining water on the grains go ahead and drain out. And that should give me just about 12 gallons. This is almost boiling right now, so I'm going to go get my hops ready for the boil. I'll add some hops in the beginning once it comes to a boil, and then I'll add hops about halfway through and about 15 minutes before the end. Well, after grabbing myself another home brew, I'm ready to add my hops. I have a combination of Goldening and Citron hops, Citra hops in here. There's about 8 ounces, I would say. It's hard to say because some of them are nuggets, which means these are fresh picked from barter fair, and some of them I bought, which are the crushed ones in the bottom. This should be boiling now, so it'll be ready for the hops. Oh, and look at that thing go. Add my hops in there. Push that on down there to the bottom. It looks like I got me almost 15 gallons of love. Oh boy, here she goes. Turn her down. Woo! And I'm going to leave the top off so that I can reduce this from 12 gallons to about 10. And it'll give it a more caramely character. I've also added a little bit of brown sugar, about 4 cups to the 10 gallons, and that'll also give it a nutty flavor. 5 gallons of Trapel I brewed last week, and I'm going to use the yeast down here at the bottom that has settled for my 10-gallon batch that's brewing outside. Then I don't have to spend $8 on yeast. It's about 15 minutes before this is boiled for an hour, my wort, and so I'm going to add the flavoring hops. I have 3 ounces of Citra, and I'm going to add those now, and they will freshen up that beer. Alright, so I've taken all the hops out, and I have my wort chiller in here. Now my wort's chilled down to 80 degrees. I'm gonna turn off my wort chiller and take this into the kitchen and get ready to add the yeast. The beer's cooled to 70 degrees, 75 degrees, and I'm transferring it into the 2 carboys, glass carboys I have here, with some of the leftover yeast I saved from my Trapel.